let us move to Indianapolis, where, as we said, you can get on Game Time right now and get a $19 ticket to the Big Ten championship game. The Buckeyes have flooded the market because they're not there.
Is it really
Penn
19
State,
bucks?
$19. Penn State and Oregon. Ari, Oregon's a 3.5-point favorite in this game. We pretty much everybody seems to agree that Oregon's the best team in the country, but I do think, like, we were expecting Oregon to be playing Ohio State here. I wonder if Ohio State would have been favored had they played. I don't think Vegas is all in on Oregon yet, especially looking at the spread. My question about Penn State is, has Penn State discovered something here in the last couple of weeks? Because maybe it's just me being overly reactionary, but I feel like a different James Franklin emerged from the final drive at Minnesota. And like, he's had the goatee, so it's not like he grew a beard and became evil James Franklin, but I kind of like evil James Franklin. Like, maybe you should grow the beard longer and become the goatee longer and become evil James Franklin. Because I kind of like that guy and have more confidence in that guy.
Why is the spread
3.5? Oh, what does Vegas know that we don't?
I mean, I would have thought that the spread would be like 7 or 7.5. This is a huge departure from what I would have anticipated. And it makes you question, because like everything that you're saying, like this like swagger of like defending, running up the score and fake punting, with the game on the line a few weeks ago, like James Franklin turning into this heel is like awesome.
Yeah.
like go be that guy, James. Like, that's great. Like, you've been a punching bag to so many people. Like, I have criticized this guy endlessly. And the fact of the matter is that he's done a good job making Penn State a solid second-tier team. The problem is, I'm not 100% sure we know what Penn State's ceiling is as a program. And I think it's possible, and I've had this thought, that James Franklin is getting beaten up while simultaneously having Penn State at its ceiling. Like, they're beating them up for irrational standards and not.
I don't think the idea of ceilings are the same in this era.
And that's a good point. Like, maybe it is like we're a quarterback and a receiver away from winning a national title. Yeah. Like,
and do you want to go to these games? Because you can. Game Time has tickets to all of these conference championship games, including the Big Ten championship game, which you can get into for as little as $19. That's right. The Buckeyes fans have flooded the market with the tickets. So Penn State fans, now's your chance. Go to Indy. If you can't get into St. Elmo, Harry and Izzy shares a kitchen. It's the same shrimp cocktail. The steaks are also very good. I'm telling you right now, the money you save on a ticket, like, remember, $20 off your first purchase with the code Staples. Terms apply, of course. But you could buy a pair of tickets, and one of them is basically free if you're doing this. So, Big Ten championship game, hot ticket, plenty of good seats still available, and you can get in there. The ACC championship game, get in price for that one in Charlotte, which is a big one. As low on the GT Picks feature as $55, but you can get really good seats for around $100 for this game. So go to Game Time, download the app, use the code Staples, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
And like, you can get
Steven's point. I don't know, Andy. We can't match the speed of Oregon. Defensively, Penn State can absolutely match Oregon's speed. Penn State's defense is elite. Okay, here's a question. Who has the highest draft pick in this game?
Penn State.
Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
So, and they have a bunch of draft picks on their defense. And I'm not saying Oregon's not talented. Oregon's very talented and perhaps more talented than Penn State. But to act like Penn State is like some ham and egger team that doesn't have athletes, like, they have elite athletes on this team.
Yeah, you should not probably be worried about whether or not Penn State's defense can hang and make this respectable. The thing that I am always and will eternally be on alert for with Penn State is whether or not they can score enough. Like that's the thing. It's like it's very easy to get your groove back when you're playing teams that don't have talent. And let's just call it what it is. And it's like there is a temperament shift with their coach. I've noticed it too. I'm with you. But how different is Penn State actually from the team that lost to Ohio State by 7? And can they keep up with the team that we think is probably the favorite to win the national championship?
What's your pick, Ari?
Oregon. Oregon
James
by 7
Franklin.
to 10.
Evil James Franklin's going to walk in to Lucas Oil Stadium and face Dan Lanning, who already has a beard. And Dan Lanning, maybe they have a go for it on 4th down off. Because again, Evil James Franklin going for it on 3 4th downs in the final drive against Minnesota. Like, very, very Dan Lanning of him. I'm ready for this game, Ari. I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
Take?
Yeah.
I don't care what Penn State does in this game. Like, my opinion of James Franklin is not going to be formed in Indianapolis. It's going to be formed in January and December.
Playoffs.
Like it's great that they get to play. They have a chance to win a Big Ten championship game. I know it's important to people in State College, as it should be. The time for if Penn State loses this game by 7 to like hammer Franklin is going to be misguided. Like I'm going to start writing the column right now. Like it's like what this team is judged by will be whether or not, like, you know, if I was going to say that Penn State was the number 1 beneficiary of the expanded playoff and they were just going to waltz in every year without having to be better, then the litmus test of whether or not they've accomplished that is not going to be found here. Now, winning the Big Ten to a certain extent would, right? Because the thought was they don't have to win the Big Ten to get in anymore, and it's fine for them because they're still going to get in the playoffs. So if they win the Big Ten and beat Oregon, like that would be, I think that you can earn something here. But I think if you lose to the number 1 team in the country in a conference championship game, that doesn't necessarily tell us the tale of what I'm going to ultimately judge James Franklin by, which is, can you win a playoff game against teams that are more on your footing?
Ari,
there's
what matters in any profession? Reps. Just like we needed to see Dan Lanning win the Ohio State game in the regular season this year to show he could win one of those games. We need to see James Franklin win one of these games. And I don't care where it is. Now's as good a time as any. Because if you can win one of these, you can win more than one.
But I'm not going to burn James Franklin down if he doesn't, is what I'm saying.
No,
like,
and you shouldn't.
Like, yeah.
But I think this is a great opportunity for him. I know you don't care what happens here, but I do. I think this is a great opportunity for him.
All I was saying was he can earn a lot here. I think he can prove a lot. Winning the Big Ten this year would be a hell of an accomplishment for Penn State, something they can be proud of.
And this is
a long I was making is losing it isn't the place to burn him. If they lose to Tennessee in the first round, or they play a team like that in the first round and lose, those are the teams that Penn State's supposed to be able to beat right now.
Yeah.
Like that. So like, to me, it's like, if you lose to Oregon, good teams lose to good teams, the way that they lost to Ohio State. Go beat.
Your job's to win the national championship. You should be able to beat all these teams. Harsh, but that's the way it is. And this is a long way to go for me to say, I'll also take Oregon to cover.
I also disagree with the notion that Penn State is paying him to win a national championship.
If you're getting paid that much money, even if you're Mark Stoops, you're getting paid to win the national championship.
I mean, they offered it to him, the 10-year God contract, after he'd already proven that wasn't in the cards. So
the world's changed. The world's changed. His job's to win the national championship.
But I'm saying when he earns the money that he's getting paid annually.
Ari, I'm trying to make my pick here.
Eyes wide open. Okay.
I also will take Oregon to cover. As much as I am intrigued by potentially evil James Franklin, I still think Oregon's going to win the game.
Me too.
Okay.